Meliorism. It's the philosophical belief that the world tends to get better and can be actively improved through human effort, compassion, and practical action. It philosophically is positioned between blind optimism and pessimistic despair. But today's Christmas Day, December 25th. But let's look at the year 1914, when British expeditionary forces are dug into the muddy trenches just yards away from the German Imperial Army. World War I's only a few months old. The trenches, though, they feel like cold, wet graves. And the Germans, their soldiers begin to place candles and small Christmas trees along the parapets. And then they start to sing, and they sing Silent Night. The British troops, they recognize the melody, and they begin to slowly join in. And as the voices grow, the gunfire begins to taper off until it ultimately ceases, replaced only by voices singing together in the cold air. And then shouts of Merry Christmas begin to erupt from either side, and some nervous laughter and waves. And then finally, a few brave souls with their hands raised step out to fill the space between. No man's land. They exchange gifts, tobacco, chocolate, newspapers, and they joined and jointly buried their dead. They shared prayers and moments of silence. They told stories of their families and jobs back home. Many expressed disbelief at the fact that they were supposed to kill each other the very next day. And then, as if the absurdity and improbability of it all wasn't enough, someone produces a football, and they kick it across the frozen ground. There's no sides, and no one keeps score, because for that one night, they weren't German and British soldiers. They were human beings, in a place and under circumstances none of them chose. The next day, the war resumed in all its brutality. It was fragile and it was temporary, but it was real. And no one knows if the very same soldiers who shared a smoke on the previous day were killed by each other. And that really isn't the point. It was a spontaneous, organic act. It began with just a few brave individuals venturing to push and first bring humanity to their grim circumstances with decorations, and then it spread amongst themselves with song, and finally, bravely, they stepped into the breach to demonstrate that good men, capable of doing horrible things, can still keep their soul and their humanity intact. Peace is never permanent, and prosperity is never guaranteed, but the nature of humanity is an organic phenomenon. And it starts from within the individual every morning when they lace up their boots and choose. And that's why the story endures. So no matter your religion, your politics, or your worldview, this is the time of year when you step back from posture and perspective and remember our common humanity. To choose restraint over resentment, gratitude over grievance, and to remember how good things can be, even if it's just briefly, when we let humanity lead. So Merry Christmas. And that's all food for thought.